TheorySabers.com.
A lot of you have noticed that there is a trans clone that Disney has created. And let me bring the image up here. So this is the trans clone that was apparently, it's going absolutely viral. It was, 2 days, yesterday, freaking yesterday, dude. 3.4 million views already. They have a lot to say about it on all different fronts.
Mixed.
Let's go ahead and read it. The secrets of the clone troopers includes a first look at Sisters, a trans woman clone trooper. Rex's description of Sister in the book reads, when one of our kind expressed her gender identity differently than her fellow troopers, she featured she'd have to hide who she truly was inside. Fortunately, her brothers in the 7th Sky Corps gave her the name Sister as a constant reminder that she belonged. All right, so a lot of you guys want to know, like, are we going to be saying stuff about this? So my thoughts right off the bat are personally, and this is going to be surprising to a lot of people because I know you're all expecting me to say something about it. I really don't give a shit. I honestly don't care. I don't care. I've said this a billion times. If they're trans, if they're gay, black, white, whatever, dude, alien, I don't care. If it's a good character, it's a good character. However, I do question what the importance and relevance is of highlighting someone's sexual identity or sexual preference in Star Wars when it doesn't have any place. I don't, for example, care that Anakin is straight. I mean, for all I know, maybe he's just a closet homosexual and he's just trying to fit in and he's, into Padme. I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't give a shit. It does not change Anakin or his character or his story for me, and it's really all I have to say about it. So I don't care what they are, what their preference or sexual whatever, what it is, not my business. That being said, I question why it's being interjected into Star Wars. I don't know what the purpose is. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I think all those things are in our world, and Star Wars should just focus on the characters and their story and less so about their sexual identity or their preference, as it's really no one's business, nor does it help a character's, character development or the story or anything like that. I mean, Darth Vader could take it up the butt by freaking robots. I don't, he's still the coolest character of all time. I don't give a shit. So that's my word on it. Stupendous, what's your thought?
I'm kind of with you. I don't see any problem, having alien characters, trans characters, gay characters. There's nothing wrong with that. What we want is good quality characters. But what I am going to say is I feel like this comes off really inauthentic on behalf of Lucasfilm. If I'm being completely honest, it feels like, I don't know, to have a character defined solely just by their sexual orientation or their gender just seems so shoehorned. I don't want to use the word gimmick because I don't think that that's the perfect word for it. There's a better word out there, but it does feel insincere. And we were talking about it off recording a little bit, but I also thought the gay kiss at the end of The Rise of Skywalker felt really insincere. They really pushed it to the background. They pushed it to the right of the frame. Yeah. And it's sort of, I look at this as Lucasfilm and Disney trying to, give a message, but also fearful of the committing too far to either side. And it just comes off so disingenuous to me.
Well, if they really want to commit to it, they'll put it in a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in some book that nobody knows about. It's the secrets of books, I think, were phenomenal. Like the Secrets of the Jedi, Secrets of the Sith, Secrets of the Bounty Hunters. I have all of them. This new one is the Secrets of the Clone Troopers. I didn't even know they were making it. I had no idea. So, I mean, I'll be picking it up and checking it out, because I want to know what they're writing about Rex and Cody and everybody in there. But as for throwing this, yeah, it does feel like it's shoehorned. It does feel like they're just trying to, what's the word? Play to the agenda. It doesn't matter, I don't think, to anybody. Like Rex could be gay. I don't know. I don't care. what is this constant obsession with sex? I really don't understand it. Um, I would argue, do you guys care if I'm gay? Like, no one gives a shit. Just make good content.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter. So I mean, at the same time, it also makes me question, like, why is this even happening? Like, why is this a thing? Why is this in there? No one cares. No one's going to bat an eye if a character is trans or gay or whatever, but they will bat an eye if it's a shit written character, like the ones in the Acolyte, or like Rey being a Mary Sue or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's what people care about. That's what Star Wars fans care about. This just seems like it's forced. No pun intended.
I know a lot of people have been saying that this is lore breaking. I don't think I'd go that far, but I do think it comes off a little tone deaf picking the trooper for this role, like a clone trooper, because
Right.
the whole purpose of the clone troopers is that they're clones. You know, they're
Genetically modified
genetically
beings.
correct for the purpose of warfare and to be elite, perfect soldiers. You know, sexuality is not really a major part of the clone trooper story, their development, their history. So it just feels like a little bit of a strange choice. I'm not against it. You know, like if Sister turns out to be the coolest character in the next movie, I will totally have no problem with that. I just think that it establishes a little bit of a misunderstanding of what the clones were meant to do. Wasn't it in season 1 of the Clone Wars when Rex was he found the deserter and the fact that they had broken from their programming by just a little bit to
Yeah.
have a family really bugged him for the first part of the episode. And I always thought that was super intriguing because that's Rex breaking from his programming.
Yeah. And like, as you said before, they're asexual, man. Their programming is that they don't give a crap about anything to do with sexuality or anything.
They're warriors.
They're warriors. They're made to kill. They're made to obey. And I guess there are some that with the Clone Wars, to make the show interesting, they have given them more and more of an identity, and they've started to kind of take their own sort of personality. So I can see where they're going with this. However, I just don't find the point. I don't see why they would do this. It's like, what for? These are clones. At least do it with another character. If you want to do it with another character, that's fine. I think you do it with clones. Like, these are literally genetically engineered beings that like are asexual, made to be asexual. Whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean
It's
the
no
Kaminoans.
surprise that Disney would do something like this, but
No.
I don't think George would do anything like that. And is it the end of the world? No, they put it in some book, and they're just trying to please one side of the fandom, I suppose, who really loves to shove identity politics into everything storytelling, which I think is ridiculous. I think let's just focus on a story and tell a good freaking story and not play to check boxes on a list, rather character development.
Totally.
Interesting stories, world building. I think that's probably what we should be focusing on. But it is what
That's
it
the
is. Let's see
point.
what
That's what we
chat's
should
saying.
aim for.
Yeah, literally. Like, so as for like canon wise, I guess we can talk about that because you talked about kind of like the social part of it, aspect of it. Canon wise, yeah, like we said, these are freaking asexual, genetically modified beings.
I think a character like that would have been portrayed better maybe in the Bad Batch, because part of the whole Bad Batch is about breaking from programming and discovering self-identity, right? Like
Yeah,
that's a major plot of the
right.
Bad Batch series. And I think that maybe if Sister was introduced as a layered, complex character, and that was sort of an aspect of development over the Bad Batch series, it would have been a little bit better. But it comes off really shoehorned, like you put it, because it's just in a book where she's going to have 1 to 2 paragraphs about it. Like it's
Mhm.
disappointing.
Yeah, so they're just trying to
It's cheap.
appease. Yeah, like what you said, how um, I feel like they use people. To be honest, I feel like what they did with John Boyega. Like, they put him in the poster in North America, but then in the Chinese poster, they like shrink him down with
Yeah.
gosh, what's his name? Rest in peace. He passed away. Chadwick Boseman?
Hmm.
Um, they had his face revealed in the poster for North America, and then covered it up with a mask for Black Panther in China.
Are
And
you
it's like,
serious? Did they really do that?
yeah, I believe so. Let me double check just so I'm not. talking out of my ass here.
I know that they cut out the gay kiss at the end of Rise of Skywalker for China, and
Here you go.
I'm sure that it was in the background so it could be more easily cut out.
There you go, bro.
That's bullshit, man. That is bullshit. You can't pick a side, and it's not even like this situation is particularly hard to pick the right side. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, here it is. Here's a freaking...
Oh, yeah, they covered up Boyega, too. That's what you were talking about.
He's like... Oh, shit. Sorry. He's like front and center, and then here he's just zipped
Dude, I didn't
down.
even see him.
I didn't even see him. Yeah, the dude, BB-8's bigger than John Boyega. Disney just likes to... they like numbers, man. That's all they do.
Yeah. I mean, that's why The Acolyte's not going to get a second season, is because it's purely a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. Yeah. And once people start to understand that they are not for any side, they are just trying to appease everyone because they're trying to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not about like, oh, we believe in this. No, they have a checklist. Dude, they have a fucking checklist. They
have a whiteboard.
Yeah, literally, yeah, like the freaking whiteboard. It's they should be focusing on what George made this to be, which is just about a good story. You can make every character trans, for all I care. Go ahead.
I think
I would question why.
Yeah, you would question why.
But if and like I've mentioned before, I'll make a fan film that's going to have a kick-ass story, and the main character is going to be trans. But.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. We're living in a time where everyone should feel accepted 100%, absolutely. But you're interjecting that now into a story that's outside of this world and the things that go on in it. And I feel like when you start to really bring in stuff that physical attributes of this world or sexual preferences, I suppose, and identities of this world, you're kind of closing that larger galaxy. Because it's supposed to be like, okay, I'm somewhere else now. We don't have the same sort of, like, for example, bricks and screws. That got freaking blown up into oblivion, but I still stand by my point, is that there is no Star Wars movie that has bricks and screws as prominent as the Andor, where it literally looks like you walked outside of a construction site and you got bricks and freaking screws out there like that. The screws... I haven't seen a screw that's like a Phillips head screw in Star Wars at all. The Ray side came on the channel a long time ago, and she explained perfectly how you could have different screws, one that looks like a Phillips screw head, and then the other one that looks like a more otherworldly alien type of thing. So I think that when you start to really like mix too much of this planet's norms, then you really just kind of dilute the fact that you're really escaping to another galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, you lose a little bit of the whimsy,
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like there are so many fans that argue when there are too many humans in a Star Wars production. They're like,
that
where
bugs
are the aliens?
me. That bugs me personally.
Yeah.
Andor, watching the first two episodes of Andor and seeing like a few aliens in the background was so, I don't know. Perplexing. I would really like a Star Wars story with an alien lead. I really would.
That'd be cool.
But going back to Sister, I think that this is really indicative of how Star Wars has crafted their characters in this Disney era. And that is that they have a checklist that they abide by first before they go into even motivation or the thing that's going to drive the story forward. With Luke, for example, is Luke wants adventure. He doesn't have a checklist where it's like, Luke is homosexual, Luke is blah blah blah. There's a point to the character. And when you're making characters on a with a checklist, you're making a D&D character. You're not making a Star Wars character,
right?
And I love it, D&D, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
In terms of like using the checklist and that's where you start. I think that that's a terrible way to start the concept of a character.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would argue that we should maybe go back to what this is all about and just like tell a story instead of focusing too much on um, identity politics. But at the end of the day, I also understand that everyone feels the need to be included and have inclusion and feel welcomed, and I'm all for that. However, I also say, to that, like, do I need a bald Jedi? Do I need a, Iranian Jedi? Do I need a Jedi with tattoos? Do I need, gosh, I don't know what else. Like, I don't need a Jedi that looks just like me or a character that looks just like me. I can identify with Ahsoka, and she's a female alien. I can identify with Darth Vader. He's a freaking cyborg machine. You don't even see his face for the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know,
That's you're growing
Transformers,
attached to a heart of a character, not their design.
the soul. At the end of the day, if we truly are all just souls, and some people identify as something else, then shouldn't we just focus on the soul of the character that we're watching and try to connect with that versus the corporeal um form, which is going to fade away in time anyways, but it's the soul that lasts forever. So
That's
I
what
would say,
Yoda
hey,
said
look,
to Luke.
yeah, look, I just, I don't know, man. I just think, like I said, like I connected with freaking Transformers machines as a kid. The show you could, like Toy Story, Wall-E, all these Pixar movies that aren't necessarily humans. It's you don't necessarily have to have something that looks just like you or is like you for you to feel accepted and okay. God knows I didn't have that a ton when I was a kid, and I never really felt accepted just for so many different reasons. But you can find characters that you relate to, and I think that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus more on the character development and the characters in general versus their exterior.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a kid, I was never attached to a character per se for how they looked exclusively. Like
Yeah,
you just said, that was never a thought that crossed my mind.
yeah,
But again, I can only speak from my experience. Like, I
yeah,
love the Black Panther character. There's tons of stuff with people of color and different genders that I enjoy thoroughly. And in the
yeah.
gender and races, unless it's being pushed in the forefront of like the marketing of the film,
Right.
or for this, for example, it would not even cross my mind. It really
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah.